Ezekiel, the next Gundawan. How you doing, man? I hope you're good. Before we get started, just wanted to thank you again, man, for coming out last week and letting me film you, do a couple kicks. I think the video came out really good, and some really good, insightful stuff that I think we can see from the video. So I'll send the video over to your dad, and I'll kind of show you the things in this video that I think you're doing good, and maybe some of the things that we can still improve on. Okay, so we can keep getting that long ball nice and strong. Okay. So the first thing that I did, Ezekiel, is basically I've just broken out the kick into a couple steps. Okay, and without getting into crazy amount of detail, basically what I did is break the kick out into 5 steps. Okay. The approach is basically right when I would ask you to get the ball out your feet, and then you're coming up to the ball. The counter movement, which is just the fancy way of saying when your foot is planted next to the ball, and then the leg that you're going to kick with starts going backwards, right? And you're starting to like generate some power so that you can kick the ball. The third step, which is the when your leg stops going backward and starts accelerating forward to kick the ball. The fourth step, when you actually make contact with the ball. And then the last step where you're following through and the ball is starting to travel forward and you're trying to keep your balance, make sure you don't tip over after hitting the ball. Okay, so what I did is basically just identify what I think you do well, your strengths, and maybe some areas where we can still improve. Okay, so if you like, what you can do is pause the video here, go through each of these, and you tell me what you think that you do pretty good, and maybe some things that you think you can still improve a little bit. Okay, and then I'll show you what I think. Okay, so this is what I have for you. Strengths, I think you do really good job of checking your target before you hit the ball, which is really good. Okay, I see you look up, you check, it looks like you pick a spot, and then your focus goes onto the ball until you hit the ball, which is very good. Okay, that's one thing. Definitely recommend you to keep that up. Okay, next thing, strength. I think you do a good job of using your arms for balance. Okay, a lot of kids, especially around your age, still don't really use their arms to help them keep balanced. They're just kicking with the lower part, and they end up kind of falling over, and it's a lack of balance. So I think that's very good. Definitely keep that up. Use your arms. Kicking is a whole body movement. It's not just the legs. And then the last one that I will tell you that you do a good job of is keeping your head still once you're hitting contact with the ball. Okay, very important. When we kick, you watch yourself hit the ball all the way through, and after you hit the ball, then we can pick our head up. If you kick the ball without looking at the ball, or you pick your head up a little too early, the chances of hitting the target decrease. Okay, so that's something very good that you do. Okay, so let's get into some areas that you can improve. Okay, so what we'll do first is we'll look at some images, okay, of how you look like when you're kicking, and then we can go into some video examples, okay, so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I did here is I kind of laid out what you look like, Ezekiel, during each of the 5 steps that we talked about earlier, okay, compared to what a professional player looks like. Okay, and so like we mentioned before, look, using the arms. Okay, this guy's a little higher here, but there's some examples where I see you with the arm higher. Okay, but important thing is that you're using the arms for balance, so very good. Okay, we can see that we're focused on the ball. Okay, very good. Okay, coming out to an angle, kind of like what you're doing here, so very good. Okay, now if we look at some of the things that we need to improve, the first one that I said is how we use the plant foot. If you can look at this guy, you can see that his toe is almost in front of the ball. Okay, it's very close to the ball, and if we were to look at it from the front, we would see that there's a decent amount of space between his foot and the ball. Okay, if we look at some of your examples, Ezekiel, we can see that our foot is slightly behind the ball. Okay, and what we'll see from a couple of the other views, when your foot is too close to the ball, it doesn't allow you to hit the ball with the laces. Okay, doesn't allow you to hit with the laces like how he's doing here, and you end up having to hit with the side of the foot. Okay, so we'll check that out in a second in the video. And then the last thing that I want you to take notice of is how nice and straight this guy's upper body is once he's hitting the ball and after he hits, and how sometimes when you kick Ezekiel, you lean over a little bit too much, okay? And maybe sometimes you kind of fall a little bit to the side, okay? So just things to be mindful of. I'll show you some video examples now so you can get a better idea of what we're talking about, okay? So let's start with the foot placement, okay? So let's watch here. Pop off the side, okay? I was a little quick, so let's break it down, okay? So nice job getting it out of your feet, okay? Let's look at the foot placement, okay? If we see here, we can zoom in a little bit. Not a lot of room between your kicking foot and the ball, okay? I don't think if you put this foot right next to this foot, you could do it without hitting the ball, okay? If you can do that, then that means you have a good amount of space between the ball. If you can get this foot right next to here and not hit the ball, that means you have a good distance away from the ball, okay? Because if you're too close, what's going to end up happening is you're not going to have the room to hit it with the laces, and what you're going to do is you're going to end up hitting it with the side of the foot on the side of the ball, okay? And if you do that, then the ball is going to end up traveling not where you want it and off to the side, okay? And the other thing that I mentioned with the plant foot, okay, is how far behind you are sometimes when we kick. So here we can see that we're a little behind the ball, okay? Like you saw in the image of the professional player, his toe pokes out a little bit here, okay? So that we can watch another example. Okay, pop. Same thing here, okay? Look at this. Not too much distance between your foot and the ball, okay? And this kind of forces you to have to hit the ball with the side of the foot, okay? Let's see here. And the foot still is slightly behind the ball, okay? We should be able to see the toe a little bit here, okay? And again, I think if you fix that, I think it will be easier for you to be able to hit the ball with the laces, okay? So there you have a couple examples, okay? So the next thing that I want you to pay attention to now is how the upper body moves after we hit the ball, okay? So let's watch this one. Look where your chest is facing, okay? It's kind of shifted away from the target, okay? Leaning over a little bit, and look how we finish sideways, right? We still kind of finish sideways. Look where the chest faces now, right? Think about it, wherever your chest faces is ultimately gonna impact where the ball goes, okay? So if we stay nice and straight and we can finish forwards towards the target, the greater the chance we have of hitting the target, okay? And then if we watch with this other one as well, same thing here, right? We're kind of leaning over a little bit too much, and the chest now is kind of facing more out, okay? And if we face out, ball is likely going to go in that direction as well, okay? And we're not able to hit the target on that try, okay? So those are the things that I think we need to work on a little bit, okay? But let me show you an example where I think you do those things. You do those things, and I think this was the best kick that you performed, okay? So so you can do it. It's just kind of taking a consciously thinking about these little things in your kick so you can improve them, okay? So let's watch it fast, and then we can break it down. Okay, get the ball out your feet, pop, perfect spin of the ball, travels in a straight line, okay? So what did we do there that allowed you to hit it so well? Okay, so let's break it down, okay? So we do a nice job, okay, of getting it out of your feet, okay? Using the arms for support, very nice, okay? Focused on the ball, okay? Check this out. Check at the distance you have here from the ball, okay? There's a good little distance here. If you put this foot down right here, I don't think you hit the ball. You don't touch the ball, okay? Which means you're at a good distance. And check this out. You're not too far behind the ball now, okay? Maybe the toe could come out a little further out, okay? But distance is all right here, okay? And check that out. Once you do that, Ezekiel, you're able to hit it with the laces, okay? You're able to hit it with the laces, and that's why we see that nice backspin, okay? And it's able to travel, look at that, straight line, perfect. Huh? Okay, and the other thing, here I think you control your torso a little better too, okay? Which is able to keep it in a straight line. Check that out. Look, you finish, right? A little more forwards, okay? The kick is your kicking leg travels forward. Look at that. Chest is facing the target. We're still slightly leaned a little bit, but we're keeping the torso pointed to the direction that we want it to go. Okay? And then you're able to get a nice hit on the target. Okay? So I think that's a really good example that you can watch a couple times. Okay? Watch it a couple times, kind of study the little things that you did well on it and see if you can repeat it. Okay? So that's the video, Ezekiel. I hope you found it useful. Okay, keep practicing that long ball. Okay, I think if you can fix those little things, you're gonna have a really nice long ball that we can start to use in the game. Okay, so keep up the good work, and I'll see you soon. Okay, man.